Alright guys, today we're going to be looking at the Cheerson CX-10 nano quadcopter here. Now I have the Proto X here. This is actually supposed to be smaller than the Proto X, but it looks almost the same size. We'll compare them when we get them out. This has a 100 milliamp, 1 cell, 3.7 volt battery, 6 axis gyro, and 3 levels of flipping. It can do some 3D flips, and it says it has 3 levels of the speed of the flip. So let's go ahead and get it out of the box, compare it to the Proto X here, and see how good this little helicopter is, quadcopter is. Now, this can be had for under 30 bucks, so it's actually a few bucks cheaper than the Proto X. And unlike the Proto X, it'll do flips out of the box with the transmitter it comes with. The Proto X will only do that with the Hubsan X4 or other transmitters, not the stock. So a couple extra features right out of the box. Let's go ahead and take a look at it closer. Alright, as we can see here, here's the package. We have the transmitter and the quad. We have 4 extra blades there, and then we have our charger and instructions. So it's basically the almost same setup as the Proto X. You got the transmitter, quad, charger, and of course you have an instruction manual when I got it. As for size, these are built differently. Let's go ahead and put these both straight up. And as we can see here, it does look slightly smaller than the Proto X in terms of length and width. Let's go ahead and put these straight side by side here, and then if we put these side by side again, you'll see that it's just a little bit smaller than the Proto X. Not a ton smaller, but it is smaller. Little battery and on-off switch there. So it's basically another version of a Proto X, different company, and we're going to have to see how it flies, see if it's good to get for a couple bucks less, or if the Proto X is the way to go. Let me go ahead and get these both charged up, then we're going to go ahead and take it for a test flight and see how it does. Alright, before we fly it, just wanted to show you a couple things. I'm not sure if I said you need 2 AAA for the transmitter here. And to do flips, if you have the mode 2 with the throttle on the left, you're going to push in on this button, and then you can go left, right, up, or down, and your quad will flip whichever way you press. So first push it on this, and then move up, down, left, or right, and it should flip. We're going to test that out when we fly it. Also, if you want to recalibrate your gyros, with the mode 2, you put this stick all the way up and left, and this one all the way down and left. Might be hard to see what I'm doing here, but it's up and left and down and left, and that will calibrate your gyros, get everything level again. And then this stick, I believe, also on the left pushes in, I believe. This is going to be your high and low rates. So a little bit extra functions in this transmitter than you get in the Proto X. So ready to go once these batteries are charged. Let's go see how it does. Alright guys, so here we have the quad. I'm going to turn it on and then press some buttons for you here so you can see some differences. So when you first turn it on, you're going to have to push the throttle all the way up and then all the way down, and then it's going to be bound, and then you can use your throttle. But I'm going to show you here, if I press in on the throttle button, 2 beeps, 3 beeps, 1 beep. That's for low rates, middle rates, and high rates. So let me go ahead and put it on the ground here and get it started up on low rates. And we're going to go ahead and get it going here. Now I got a green light. We should be on low rates now. And on low rates here, this thing is very controllable for a beginner. I'm going to try to get it up here by camera, but I have very little throws. I'm pushing my right stick all around right now, and it's barely moving the quad here. The power on it is very good. You just saw it zoom up, but if you can see here on my stick, I can push this all around, if you can see my finger here, and it barely moves the quad. So we can fly this around very slowly when there's no wind in the room, and this would be good for a beginner to start learning on, because it does have very slow responses. But for someone like me, I wanted to fly more how the Proto X flies, a little bit more power in the cyclic. So let's go ahead and try middle rates, the second 2 beeps it just did, if you could hear it from there. So this is our middle rates. Let me get it up in camera here. And now I have a little bit more control here. I can make it spin around. I know I'm probably going off camera a little bit. It's a little tiny quad here. But I still have pretty good control. It levels itself out pretty good. Try to get it up by camera there. Pirouettes are pretty slow, but as you can see here, oh, it bounced off, it was still going. I have pretty good control on middle rates, so it's again good for learning, for people to learn on. Let's go ahead and try high rates, because I still feel like the Proto X is a little bit more responsive than this is. This has a good connection though, it's responding to everything I say quickly, or input. There we are in high rates, oops, quads backwards here. And as we can see here, even at high rates, once we get it all leveled out, hands off hover, and it's doing pretty good. Blinking light, so I think we're almost out of battery. But as we can see, whoa, here, in high rates it has a lot of control. If you can see this, I'm pretty sure I'm keeping on camera there. It is blinking at me. Let me try a flip. Try a back flip here. Pressing on the right stick. Didn't want to do it. I might not want to do the flips right now because I'm low on battery, it's telling me. So that's probably why. But again, as we can see here, hands off hover. Very nice. And the flying of this is actually pretty good. Very controllable and not bad at all. But it's not wanting to do the flips for me, so maybe I'll get another video on the flips later. I'm not so concerned about the flips because that's kind of a little extra thing they put into the transmitter anyways. It's not really you're doing it. But it's cool that it does them. So I'll try to get a video on the flipping later. It looks like I'm blinking, so I'm out of batteries. Let's go ahead really quick and turn this off. And as I talk about it, I'll just get a little bit of flight with the Proto X, just so I can kind of feel the difference while I'm doing this review. And the Proto X has an on button here. With the Proto X, there's no difference, I don't believe, in rates. There's no flipping unless you have a different transmitter. And now my Proto X here actually feels a little bit more crazy. It's a little bit more responsive, it feels like, but it actually feels a little bit more crazy, and it seems low on battery too. I think my battery here might not be great, but it's a little bit harder to control actually. It seems a little bit crazy on me. It's spinning more than it should. Now mine's older, I've crashed it a few times, but it's never had any major damage. And I can control this just fine, and I feel like it does have a little bit more responsiveness, like it'll really zoom if you tell it to. So it does probably have a little bit higher rate. This one actually felt a little bit more connected, a little bit smoother. So I'd have to say, definitely go ahead and check this out. Only about 25 bucks. You can get them for sometimes a little less. I got it on Amazon. And check it out. If you have any questions, let me know. See y'all later. Happy flying.